What's up, everyone? Welcome in. A little rusty. What's up, everyone? Welcome into Around the Felt, episode number 58. After a week and a half hiatus, Reagan, we're back and ready to roll. NFC East season-long grades today. How are you feeling, brother?
It's good to be back. It is good to be back.
Definitely excited.
This is our second to last pod in this studio, though. We got to let the people know.
It is the second to last podcast in this studio, for me at least, and Rock. We are moving to Hoboken, so we will have another studio. There will be Felt, but, we won't be together. We're going to be on Zoom. Reagan will still be in the OG studio, though.
Yes.
Ready to roll.
I will be here every night for you guys, the people, the fans.
This will be a fun pod, man, until we talk about my Giants, because I was not very generous with my grade. Now, we did the AFC North with the first one. A lot of high grades. Every team had a winning record. I have a much different script for this division. We'll get into it, obviously, but kind of underperformance from every team in this division relative to expectations.
Yeah, no, this division's a lot different than the North, because obviously the North was, I think, the first division ever to have every team with a winning record. So,
I mean, I can't confirm that, but that sounds about right.
Yeah. Very impressive. So, the East, I'd say outside of, Dallas obviously come playoff time. I'd say they were the only team for me that exceeded regular season expectations, but then obviously they did Dallas things in the playoffs.
They always do. Let's start off with some news, Reagan. Some franchise tag news. The Bengals do tag T. Higgins. They had a lot of cap space. People somewhat expected this, but there were rumors that he could be moved. He will be back for at least 2024. Good move for Cincinnati?
I mean, hey, they got the cap space, so why not run it back one more year, see if you want to give him the long-term deal, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought they were going to let him – I honestly didn't think they were going to franchise tag him, but I'd say it's a good move.
I think it's a good move. You got Joe Burrow back for another year, healthy. You do have to pay Jamar Chase, but, just tagging him for that, I don't even know the amount. I think it's around $18 million. Not a bad contract for him for 1 year. You reevaluate next year, kick the can down the road. I think it's a smart move. Hopefully Tyler Boyd's back as well. They got the trio ready to roll. And at 18, it sounds like they're trying to target another weapon. They really like Brock Bowers. That's been leaked. Add him to that offense.
I mean, he's not going to fall to 18 now, let's be honest.
I don't know if he goes top 10. I don't know. They might have to move up.
They're definitely going to have to move up. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody, he's not going to fall that far. Like, even the year with Kyle Pitts, even, they were like, oh, he could fall. He didn't fall.
No, he went.
I feel like every year when we have one of these elite of elite tight ends that they're talking about, they typically are saying the positional value. I don't think he'll fall. I would be shocked if he got to that point.
Yeah, I think the sweet spot is around I don't want to say 8 because Atlanta's at 8, Chicago at 9. They have Kmet. I think he's going to be in that 10 to 15 range.
Yeah,
that's where I think he'll end up. None of the top backs seem to be getting franchise tags. Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard.
I wouldn't tag any of them.
What does this mean for the running back market? They're all going to test the market. I feel like every team in the league is going to be like, this is what we think you're worth, around $10 million for all these top backs, and they're going to have to go back to their teams. I think that's what happened with Saquon. Go back to the Giants, be like, this is what I got on the table. Can you match it? We'll see if they do, but are the NFL owners going to stick it to the running back market once again this year?
I think they already have. That's the reason why they have the second lowest franchise tag outside of kickers and punters. So that kind of tells you about the positional value there. But yeah, I mean, it really doesn't surprise me at all. It's funny that Miles Sanders got a big contract last year, and then he might end up being paid more than any of these guys.
I don't know, man. I find it hard to believe. I think Baltimore is a team to look out for to go after one of these backs.
I don't know if they need to, though.
They don't need to, but they can. They can add Derrick Henry to that offense. Running read option with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry is
just seems like whoever they throw back there is effective. Keaton Mitchell had a lot of juice in him this year, and even Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. And they could draft a guy too. Even though this isn't the best running back class, I don't think they need to waste that money on a running back. I really don't.
They don't need to. If it's a one-year deal though, and you're going for it, I think it makes sense for a team that's in contention for a Super Bowl.
We'll see. Does somebody want to take that 1 year deal? It's the real thing.
Hey, but maybe these running backs don't have a choice. I don't know, man. It's gonna be wild.
It'll be interesting. And even there's other guys too, like DeAndre Swift. Well, I mean, you said Pollard. We said Pollard. Who knows what he'll fetch? Saquon, Derrick Henry, obviously the big name. Josh Jacobs, those are the big three. So it'll be interesting.
Now with Dallas in particular, not tagging Pollard, do you think they bring him back? Because they have signaled that they're going all in for 24. Jerry Jones basically said it out loud. Do you think they could bring back Pollard? Do you think they want to target a guy like Henry or Barkley?
No, I think they'll draft somebody. Actually, I think they don't have enough money, and I think they have so many like guys they're going to have to pay and other holes that they can fill.
Well, that's the thing. When we get into Dallas, we're going to talk about how fucked they are.
A lot. That's what I'm saying.
The cap situation.
I do not think they'll pay a running back. I think they're going to draft somebody.
Interesting.
Because, dude, like, they're going to have to pay people down the road, so you're just, like, addressing a need that's right now.
Again, they could do, like, a 2-year deal, though, for Henry. Henry's 29. You think he probably has 2 years left?
They could. I don't know. I honestly do think they draft someone. I think that's a good landing spot for Blake Corum.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind Corum there. The Dolphins are going to release cornerback Xavier Howard, their franchise all-time leader in interceptions, and pass rusher Emmanuel Ogbah. They were over the cap, even with the NFL juicing it up another $30 million for this year. Miami still found themselves over the cap. You know, they had 1 year of an elite cornerback tandem with Ramsey. Ramsey missed a lot of the year. Then Howard got hurt. I mean, tough, man. Tough to see Xavier Howard go. What are some potential landing spots you could see for him?
I mean, any team that needs a corner, I mean, you'd be a fool not to throw a contract at him. I'm not saying giving him top dollar, and I don't think he'll fetch top dollar, but at the end of the day, if you need cornerback help, he's a guy who's proven before. Even though if he's getting up there in age and he has some injury concerns, I mean, I'd give him a 1-year deal and maybe pay up a little bit just to see if there's something there still.
You know what I like? I like Houston for him, paired with Derek Stingley. They have the cap space, quarterback on a rookie deal, star quarterback on a rookie deal.
Well,
I like
a lot
Houston,
of stuff.
man.
Like, you could say, honestly, a lot of contenders could use him. Like Chicago, Philly.
Philly definitely could use them. They have their own cap problem. I mean, they actually have a decent amount of cap space.
I wouldn't suggest a team that's not contending going for him because I don't think there's just no point to me unless you're a contender to go for him because I don't think if you're a team that's not contending right now, like you're going to overpay for a guy that's not going to be there by the time you're ready to contend. So it wouldn't make sense to me for a team like Washington, ton of cap space, but.
And they need help in the secondary.
They need help in the secondary.
28-year-old
That's what I'm saying. No, you don't.
Doesn't really make sense. All right, that wraps up the news. Drock, what do we got for questions?
Allsty has a lot of trivia, so I'm going to actually hold on to this and use this.
Yeah, he's probably submitted them for later, yeah.
Nice.
Let's start off with Walmart has a question for Reagan, spelled Regan.
All right, Walmart, spelled Walmart.
Who is in the worst position going into next year in the East? Just for you. Regan.
Well,
he knows I'm going to say Washington. That's why.
I like obviously like contention wise, the Giants and Commanders aren't going to contend. I mean, Dallas to me is not in a great spot either, just because like they have so many guys to pay, and I almost feel like they're missing their championship window, and they still have McCarthy. But I mean, then again, it's like, are you going to say, are you going to really say a team that's going to be considered a contender and like Dallas and Philly's in a bad spot? Like, no. To me, I don't know. It's so close. I lean Giants are slightly worse just because I feel like they're a year behind of where Washington is, where they're like totally resetting. They have the cap. They're going to go draft the quarterback, where I think the Giants, unless Daniel Jones proves it, I don't think the Giants are going to draft a quarterback this year. I hope they do, but I don't think they will. So I think they're going to run it back with Jones one more year, and I don't think it's going to work out. So I think they're going to be in the position to drafting a quarterback next year. So I lean Washington just because I feel like they're a year ahead in their rebuild.
For both of you, what will be the standings in the East
next year?
Mm-hmm.
Philly.
Still a lot to unwind in this offseason, free agency, draft. You know, I think it's going to be Philly and Dallas towards the top again.
I was going to say, yeah. That's just the easy one. Two teams are contending, two teams are rebuilding.
I don't think the Giants and Commanders are one off-season away from competing with those two teams. I mean, they were both really good in the regular season. Eagles obviously fell apart at the end. Do I want to go Philly or Dallas, number one? I don't know. There's just so much uncertainty. I'm going to go Dallas, actually, to win the division.
That's crazy.
Right now.
Because no team ever goes back-to-back in that division.
I know, but with Philly,
Fool's gold.
I don't know what they're going to do to address their secondary. And also, they have two new coordinators coming in again for the second straight season, although I thought they were both upgrades.
Well, technically, third straight season.
You're right. Technically, third straight season. Yeah. So it's just a lot of new faces. They still have that sour taste in their mouth. I don't know. Dallas does too, though. Dude, I don't know. I mean, you can pick your poison with Philly and Dallas.
I lean Philly, Dallas, Giants, Washington, and Giants and Washington are neck and neck. Only because I only lean Giants slightly because it's like I trust Daniel Jones more than whoever Washington has right now. I don't know. And also to me, it's like Drake May or Jaden Daniels, depending on who they go with, which we assume it's going to be one of them, or Caleb Williams. That's a lot to ask for on a Washington team that doesn't have a ton of talent right now. We'll see what they do in the offseason because obviously they have a crap ton of cap space and even more now with it going up $30 million. So they have a ridiculous amount of cap space, but I can't just assume they're going to get all these players and hit it well in the draft. So right now, without knowing anything in the offseason, that's what I lean.
Yeah, I'd go Dallas, Philly, Giants, Washington. Giants also have Washington's number. They beat them head-to-head every year.
Yeah,
so.
And it's just there's so much unknown with Washington. I did see Jets might want to trade for Sam Howell, so I would like that.
Nice backup.
And maybe the future. Dude,
well,
I don't know.
He's still showing. They might want to keep Sam Howell because he's friends with Drake May. Would that be a little weird? I don't know.
That'd be very weird.
Be a little weird.
All right, top 5 dynasty receivers in the NFC East.
In the NFC East, I mean, it's got to be
Number
CD1.
1, CD.
Actually, it doesn't got to be. I mean, you could say
AJ Brown too. No, CD's 1. He was better than AJ this year, and he's younger.
Yeah, I know, but I would say you can make a case. Those are the 1-2 locked in for sure.
You can take Smitty too.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can. I'll go CD.
I'm still going Brown.
AJ
too.
just because he is the one when they're both playing. Even though we saw what Devontae Smith could do,
and he's still only 26.
Yeah. So AJ 2, Smitty 3. I'll go McLaurin 4, and then 5.
I like McLaurin 4.
5, I lean
Wan'Dale Robinson. Come on, get a giant in there, dude. Wan'Dale was cooking at the end of the year when he recovered from his ACL.
And before he
hurt that ACL, he had his first 100-yard game. So, I mean, he's looks good, man. They just need a quarterback to get him the football.
To me, it's either Wan'Dale or Dotson. It's got to be one of those two.
Even CeeDee Lamb called out Wan'Dale. He said he's underrated, man. He's good. He's fast. He makes people miss.
It's one of those two because they both are young and they've both shown flashes. So I don't think there's anything. Those are the, you could say 5A and 5B, or for me.
I would have said Dotson before this year. I really like Dotson coming out of Penn State, but I don't know. He just isn't consistent.
Well, and neither is Wan'Dale. That's
Curtis
my point.
Samuel.
Neither of those guys are consistent.
Yeah, but Wan'Dale is more consistent than Dotson considering the quarterback play, where Curtis Samuel was outperforming Jahan Dotson this year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm just strictly factoring in they've shown flashes in their age. It would be one of those guys. I don't think there's anyone else you can argue for that fifth spot because the capital's not there and we didn't see enough. You're not going to say Samuel. You're not going to say Cooks. You're not going to say Gallup. You're not going to say Julio Jones. So it's really just those two for me as the 5, and I think you could go either way.
Give me 5.
I just did.
We basically
together as a team.
We basically agreed, and I said Dotson and he said Wan'Dale, but I honestly think you can go either way at 5.
All right, let's hop to and around the fellow crew member, Mr. Garrett Loescher, the graphic designer.
Big G.
Does Sam Howell get traded? Yeah, that's his first question.
I think he definitely gets traded. I just don't think it's good to keep him around because he's so young, and I think he will have some value. Because look, the guy still threw for over 4,000 passing yards. There's clearly something there.
No,
and
he didn't.
Did he not?
3,946.
Okay, all right, almost 4,000. Yeah, I just got pwned there.
Do your research, dude.
But he didn't play. I don't know. He got benched a couple times, so
he did get benched a couple times by Jacoby Brissett.
He should have done it if he didn't get benched. But still, he showed enough flashes to me that there's something there where I think he'll fetch a day 2 pick. I'd say. I think they'll definitely get more than they invested.
I don't know if he's getting I don't know if they're getting a 3rd-round pick for Howell. He threw 21 picks last year, bro.
Yeah, but he still showed a lot of flashes.
He's definitely a day 3 pick, I think.
I don't know. It depends how desperate you are.
Well, why would someone be desperate for a back? I mean, I don't think he's going to compete for a starting job next year. I mean,
maybe if you believed in him. If you believed in him and you're like, hey, this guy showed some flashes, I want to take the risk and see if he could become our future quarterback. Like, if the Jets gave up a 3rd, 4th-round pick for him, I wouldn't be mad. See if there's something there. See if he can develop under Rodgers. Or, hey, Zach Wilson for Sam Howell swap. I'm cool with it.
Into the next question he's got, do you believe the rumor that Jets will have interest in bringing him on?
I definitely do. I mean, there's not a ton of teams that would because you got to look at, where situations where obviously there's a need for a younger quarterback. You're going to want to look at situations where, the guy might not be around for long. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other, veteran-type teams. I could see a team how many years does Stafford have left? Maybe they're hey, we'll bring him in here, let him sit under Stafford, learn. I mean, honestly, any team with a veteran quarterback that they're not in a great spot capital-wise where they're going to be hey, we don't know if, when this guy retires, what are we going to do? I know for a fact the Jets, once Rodgers done, we're fucked. We're fucked at the quarterback position, so I would at least like to take the risk on a guy like that where it's we've seen him have success in this league or at least show flashes of it.
I don't know. I mean, if you take a rookie at number 2, which all signs are pointing towards that, do you not want to have Howell in-house? Howell's cheap, or do you want to pay a veteran? Like
you probably want to pay a veteran. You probably want to
help groom, almost be like a coach.
Yes,
kind of. Like what Andy Dalton was for Bryce Young this year.
They have so much cap
space.
I
could see that being their strategy. But Howell is still really cheap. He's under team control for 2 more years. So
yes, but you can also get some more capital, and you have a fuck ton of cap space where it's like, all right, if we have to pay a backup $10 million, like it's not even doing a damper to us. And it's like Howell's almost. The thing is, you pay Jacoby Brissett, he's not looking over his shoulder. You keep Howell, like he's always going to be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, I guess it really depends if they go Drake May too, like what their dynamic is. Like if they want to play together.
No matter what, you got to trade him
because they were teammates at UNC.
Yeah, I don't know.
This next question: what do the Giants do in the draft if Neighbors, Joe Alt, and Jaden Daniels are all there? Who would you take?
Jaden Daniels. I think you take Jaden Daniels. The upside that he has with his tools, like the rushing ability, the big arm. He had the best deep ball in college football last season. I think that worked really well with the receiving core that they have right now. Also gives Brian Dable, the quarterback whisperer, an opportunity to mold his own quarterback, and it buys them more time in the rebuild. If they don't succeed this year, they have another 6-win season. Okay, you just got a rookie quarterback to get another year. Where if they hitch their wagon to Jones and Jones is bad again next year, they could be fucked. They could be out of a job. New York is not very patient.
If they ride with Jones, they're 100% out of a job. So if they decide to not draft a quarterback, like if you miss the playoffs and it's not even close and it's like a repeat of last year, they're 100% cleaning.
Although I do think there's no shot Jaden Daniels there at 6. I think if one team moves out, it's going to be New England. And if they do, Atlanta's going to be calling, Minnesota's going to be calling to try to get up, maybe even Denver as well. So I think it's going to be a bidding war, so they'd have to move up to 3 to get him. Now, if New England sticks and picks and there's 3 quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3, I want Malik Neighbors really bad. A lot of scouts actually have him as wide receiver 1 over Marvin Harrison. Like he's going to run the 4-3s with the ball in his hands. He's insanely dynamic, makes a lot of people miss. He's a big play threat, and LSU wide receivers usually pan out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just do. So I would really like Malik Neighbors.
I lean alt just because of the offensive line being like the biggest issue for you guys last year, but you also do not have that wide receiver 1. So the thing is, with all those picks, you can't go wrong with any of them.
It's what they need. It's their team needs.
Those are their
is
3
the top
biggest
of the board.
needs. I lean the other 2 over the quarterback just because it's like you just paid Jones. Like he had an injured season. Like he got injured last year. Like granted, he wasn't playing great before he got injured, but at the end of the day, like. Are you going to give up 1 year after paying the man? I know it's not like it wasn't a huge contract, but still, you decided to commit to the guy after he took you to the playoffs. So you're basically
essentially a 2-year deal.
You're basically but you're basically saying we're done with it. I think if Dable truly believes in the locker room, it's a lot of the same guys. You have some cap space. You were in the playoffs with a lot of the same guys, so it comes down to I lean alt if you're going to stick with Jones, and if you're not going to go with Jones, then you got to go the quarterback.
Also depends on free agency.
And also I wouldn't even hate it if the Giants were to trade back in and try to get a wide receiver because I do think you need to get a wide receiver 1.
They have 2 second-round picks.
I like yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't hate it if you guys tried to use that to move up and.
But
get
it's a really deep offensive tackle class. I think Daniel Jeremiah has like 9 to 11 OTs.
It's deep, but like alt's supposed to be like one of the best prospects.
I know.
So it's like, yeah, it's deep, but it's also like you have the chance to get like one of the closest things since Penny Sewell.
Well, if they took Joe Alt, I wouldn't be mad by any stretch. It also depends what they do in free agency because it seems like they want the guy from the Patriots at Winhoo, so he can play guard or tackle. That gives you flexibility that if Neal's not looking good in camp with a new offensive line coach, you can kick him into left guard and then start Winhoo at tackle.
Yeah.
That could be what they do. They're looking at a guard from the Raiders because the offensive line coach came over. Depends, man. We're going to know more about team needs. I still lean taking Malik Neighbors over the tackle.
I really would like you guys to address the wide receiver position in the first round.
It'd be fun.
Just because I think Wandell showed some flashes, but I don't think he's ever going to be your number 1.
Player.
He's going to be
a slot player.
He's a good wide receiver too. I think you need to get that 1, and I don't know if it's going to be out there in free agency. I really don't.
That's the thing. You can get an offensive lineman more so in free agency this year.
Like, who would be the top wide? Like, I don't think Mike
Evans wants to go back to Tampa Bay.
And if he leaves, is he going to go?
Calvin Ridley, does he raise your ceiling? He's going to be 30. Like, no.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it really depends. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I don't. Mike Evans, if he leaves, he's going to a contender. Like, I don't think he cares about the money.
He's not going to New York.
So Calvin Ridley, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. Like, it's better.
It's a
if you're gonna draft Jaden Daniels, I'd like it. Honestly, it really depends. If you're going to keep Jones, then don't do it. But if you're going to draft Jaden Daniels, go do it. Get your rookie quarterback a weapon. I don't care.
Yeah,
he's still better than he still would be your best option. And if you're not, and that means if you're drafting Daniels, you're probably going to get a day 2 wide receiver again. And is he guaranteed to hit? No.
Also, in the past 3 seasons, Jones has had 2 major neck injuries and a torn ACL. The neck really fucking worries me, and I think it worries the Giants as well, that they don't know if they can keep him as their guy for the long term. Because one more neck injury, dude, he could be done.
Well,
you never know.
Odds are,
two bad neck injuries is a tough look for a quarterback that's still in his mid-20s.
And it also comes down to, do you like the prospects next year, too? You got to factor it in. If there's a couple guys like they're in love with for next year's draft, they could be like, all right, you know what, we'll run it with Jones. We make the playoffs.
But they don't know if they'll be there next year. You know, That's why I think if they have the opportunity to get Jaden Daniels, they're going to do it.
I'd imagine they will be there if it doesn't work out with Jones. If they're going to be drafting either next year, if they're drafting a quarterback, that means it didn't work out with Jones, and if they're not, that means it worked out. And it's like, hey, we're in an even better spot because it worked out with Jones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a chance. Like, I think next year, if Jones doesn't work out, I think you're locked in top 5. And if he does, then it's like, then maybe you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What round will Marvin Harris be taken in a redraft league?
Depends where he goes. I imagine if he goes...
Assume Arizona, just for argument's sake. That seems to be the most likely landing spot right now.
Third round?
Third round. I could see third round. I mean, I do like him paired with Kyler Murray. We've seen DeAndre Hopkins be phenomenal with Kyler Murray, you know?
I think he goes third because, dude, always we see the rookies get the hype right before the draft season and just keep creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. I think I believe Jamar went in the third round his rookie year.
It might have been, I think I remember him going like 4th or 5th.
But the way they're talking about Harrison Jr., I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he went in the third round at all.
I definitely think end of third is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Maybe
beginning
of fourth.
Mid-30s. Like, yeah, I think for sure. Especially by August when they've been talking about him so much and he has a good preseason.
Thanks, Garrett. Let's hop to the name of DirecTV.
This is Kenny?
Ken,
he's paying our DirecTV bill when we move out because he's going to be there all the time. You're paying for us to watch Yankees baseball. You're not coming, dude.
His first question. As an unbiased fan, after what we witnessed this season, how far away are the Giants of getting back to the success we saw in 2022?
So playoff berth, 1 playoff win, how far away are they? They're not, I don't think they're that far away because they do have cornerstone blue chip players on both lines in Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence, which is nice. Kayvon Thibodeau had, I think, 11.5 sacks this year. That was a great boost. Deontay Banks looks really good. They have key pieces in the most important positions. But then again, if you don't have the quarterback play, you're never going to be good. Jones was very good in 2022. 22 total touchdowns to 5 picks. He did it on the ground. He had 700 rushing yards, and they won games. But I think that might have been Jones' ceiling. You know what I mean? It seems like teams figured him out. He's like a one-read guy, and he has trouble pushing the ball down the field, which you're not going to be able to go deep in the playoffs if you can't push the ball downfield and really go off script outside the pocket and get to your second, third read. So it just limits their ceiling. How far away are they? Do I think they win a playoff game this upcoming year? No. I think 2025 is a better spot for them, but I hate for them to waste the primes of Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence because having a top 5 offensive tackle and a top 5 interior pass rusher in the league is definitely the recipe to have a successful team.
Yeah, I'd say you could look at it a couple ways because obviously it really depends who's their starting quarterback next year. It helps that they're in the NFC because the NFC is so much weaker right now than the AFC. Like, you don't... Who would you even say is the best quarterback in the NFC right now? I don't think anyone can...
I mean, who played the best this season was Dak.
But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can make a debate. Like, there's no clear-cut guy, and you could probably say, like, the best NFC quarterback's not even top 5 in the AFC right now. So it helps where you are. Obviously, there's not a lot of teams right now where it's like they're locked in chewing for the playoffs, so that helps. I say if you roll with Jones, you will not be in the playoffs this year. And I think if you go, who are we going to say you would draft? You're not getting Caleb Williams, so it's basically it's Mayor Daniels. If you get either of those guys, I'd say ideally year 2 you'd hope. I don't think there's a chance in hell the roster next year, no matter who your quarterback is in the playoffs. So I'd say if you want to hope, not this upcoming year, but the following year is your best chance.
I will say, though, no one expected Houston to win a playoff game this year with a rookie quarterback. Shit happens. Every year, teams go from worst. Every year, a team goes from worst to first. So, yeah, every year it happens. I just think it's highly unlikely the Giants pull it off this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't even predict any of those. Like, you can say what you want about Caleb Williams and the prospect he is. I don't think there's a chance in hell he comes close to the level Stroud played this year. That was like unheard of.
It was all time. That's
what I'm saying. So, like. And also their defense was playing at an elite level too, and they had a lot of guys like stepping up big. So a lot of factors need to happen for that.
It's now a buy low opportunity in Dynasty for guys like Saquon and Pollard.
I mean, No.
I wouldn't pull the trigger now because you don't know where they're going to play next year. You know what I mean? Like it could, like if one of them goes to the Chargers, then okay, their stock goes up because Jim Harbaugh clearly wants to run the football, and their OC's like, could you imagine Justin Herbert with a run game? Like,
yeah.
Actually, I would say I'd say Saquon. No, I don't think there's going to be the buy low opportunity because I think the name, like you're just going to play with too many people who respect the name. Tony Pollard, I would say yes is a buy low because. Honestly, no matter where he goes, his stock is going to be so low right now because he had such a bad season.
But he had such a bad season on a phenomenal offense. Like, I don't want to buy any Tony Pollard stock.
Yeah, but you're going to be buying, like, you could probably get him for like a third. I don't think you're going to have to give up much for him.
There's no way. It's probably second at least.
I don't think you're going to have to give up much for him after the year he had and, like, the uncertainty of where he goes. Where Saquon, like, even if he goes to a shitty situation, like, nobody's giving you Saquon. You got to give up at least the first. So I don't think you're going to buy Saquon low until you know where he went.
Saquon's also one of the best workhorse backs in the league, like plays over 75-80% of the snaps, which is hard to find.
I'd say Tony Pollard.
So you know he's going to get the touches.
And you could use that to your advantage and be like, well, Tony Pollard could go to a crappy situation where if he goes to I don't know. Like Tony Pollard's definitely at his lowest. I don't think Saquon's is definitely not at his buy low spot because of the name.
Way too early top MVP candidates.
Stroud.
Stroud's got to be up there. I mean, Mahomes every year. Aaron Rodgers would be a very interesting one because he's coming off the Achilles and just make a run.
What about for the East?
For the East in particular?
Yeah.
Hurts. For me. I feel like he's due for one.
You can go Hurts. You go
Daniel Jones.
Hurts and Dak are the only really two options you have because the MVP is a quarterback award. Yeah. You know what I mean? No quarterback's going to win it for the Giants.
I'm saying Hurts if we're going to go from the NFC.
And
I like Kyler too, low-key.
DirecTV threw in a segment or punishment idea. Beer marathon in the streets of Hoboken.
That's funny. Are you going to do that by yourself?
It's not a punishment for him.
No.
Yeah, if you want to join the guy getting punished for a day of fun, you and Big C can run around Hoboken.
All right, guys. Appreciate the questions. That was a great segment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. Here at Around the Felt, we know that football and Manhattans go hand in hand, and we only drink worse Manhattans, the best.
All right, guys, welcome back in. We're going to get into the grades right now, starting with the worst team in the division, the Washington Commanders.
Commanders went 4-13 this season offensively. They ranked 24th in total offense, 24th in scoring. Defensively, they were last in both regards. Reagan, what grade did you land on for the Commanders?
Yeah, I gave them a D. It's hard. There's not a lot of good to point to here because, like, even Sam Howell, the guy that you were like, all right, and even I was saying all year, like, all right, at least you got Howell. He's showing flashes. He fell apart at the end. You were benching him for Jacoby Brissett. At least you can say going forward, you got the cap space. You're going to draft a quarterback this year, but that doesn't reflect into your grade. I'm not going to give you bonus points for having a lot of cap space and being so bad that you're going to get a good pick. So, yeah, I'd say the season was a wash. You ended up trading both your edge rushers at the deadline in Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Chase Young, like, what a failure of a pick in the long run. Showed some flashes, but the fact that you guys won the Chase Young Bowl and had to trade him, and what they end up getting for a third. Yeah, I mean, Montez Sweat, that's nice getting the second because, honestly, he doesn't fit your team's window. But, yeah, even Terry, not a great year, even though I do think he's legit, and hopefully with May or Daniels, he can continue to be good. But not a lot of positives here. A lot of games where you got blown out. Sometimes you hung around with the division mates, but you're just be ready for the draft.
Yeah, you can't really give a high grade when you're picking second overall in the draft. I gave him a D+. The only reason they didn't get an F because I knew when Ron Rivera was coming back for another season, it was going to be a wash anyways. I had no expectations for this team. I knew they were bad. When they traded both edge rushers, I was like, all right, this season is more so of a wash now. Sam Howell, yeah, beginning of the season was top the league leaders in passing yards, but he ended up 63% completion rate, 3,946 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 21 INTs, which led the league. Not good. He's not your long-term answer. That's what you figured out from the season. That's the moral of the story. The defense is pathetic. You have a lot of holes to fill. Emmanuel Forbes, the corner you took 16th overall last year, was bad as a rookie. You passed on Christian Gonzalez, who looked really good before he got hurt, out for the season. You passed on Deonte Banks, who looked a lot better. I mean, yeah, like you said, at least they have cap space and the opportunity to select their new franchise quarterback, but there's just a lot to be done here.
Hey, and the good thing is you got a new ownership group, so there's a lot of good things to be looking forward to. This season's a wash. the future's bright for the
I
Commanders.
also kind of like the Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury duo.
That's what I'm saying.
I like Dan Quinn.
The future's very
defense.
bright, dude. Like, and you even have the new ownership group is huge. Huge. Things are going to change in Washington for the good. They can only go up. I don't think they can get much worse than they've been over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think this is their bottom. Like for sure. Dan Snyder's gone. Walmart, be happy, my friend. It's only going to get better. It can't get any worse. All right, let's move on. My New York Football Giants, 6-11, 29th in total offense, 30th in scoring, 27th in total defense, 26th in scoring. Reagan, what grade did you give my Giants?
I gave them a D+, and it could have been lower, but obviously I give you somewhat of a pass because Daniel Jones went down. But at the end of the day, you guys were in the playoffs last year. It was a step back, and I would have liked to see them get a couple more wins with all these injuries because, I mean, to be honest, you still had a lot of talent. It doesn't help when you lose Andrew Thomas and stuff. But the defense, I would have liked them to step up more. And I'm going to compare you guys in a sense to Cleveland. Cleveland had a lot of injuries, and they still made the playoffs. And granted, they're a more talented team than you guys, even with their injuries. But I would have liked to see the Giants put together some more games. It doesn't help that Tyrod went down, but I don't know. Not a lot to be happy about with the season. It's another one with the Commanders where it's a wash. Better days ahead.
All right, let's get the couple of positives out of the way first. Kayvon Thibodeau's growth in year 2 was a positive. Turned a lot of those pressures into sacks. That's good. Dexter Lawrence, All-Pro. He's one of the best in the game. He's a beast. That's good. Tommy DeVito made a total lost season kind of fun to watch in the middle of the season, Jock. I mean, we were going to the games. The Cutlets.
I bought a shirt.
The Cutlets was fun. No, you didn't. Your girlfriend bought it for you.
She bought it for me.
You know, I mean, that's really it. that's really the positives.
I mean, hey.
I gave him a D. Obviously, Jones getting hurt. The season was derailed by injuries from the start. Andrew Thomas getting hurt week 1. Saquon getting hurt week 2 in a game against Arizona. That was bullshit. He got hurt in the last minute and a half just trying to drain the clock out. Jones gets hurt with the neck. Then Jones ACL. They were screwed from the get-go. But the offensive line, still one of the worst in the league, despite the fact that they've invested so much draft capital into that offensive line, the most in the league over the past decade, I might say. Evan Neal has one last chance to prove that he can play right tackle in this league, otherwise getting kicked into guard. And if he's bad at guard, it's just a total bust of a draft pick, which you hate to see from a blue-chip caliber prospect coming out of Alabama. That was phenomenal Alabama that played right tackle, left tackle, and guard.
Well,
so
hey,
that would be brutal.
You want to know some good news? You could go sign Mekhi Becton, have him play right tackle, and bump Evan Neal to right guard, and you'll have two big bodies that can't do shit.
Two big bodies that can't move, and every speed rusher gets right around them. That's beautiful. I mean, clearly the team overachieved in 2022. They came back down to earth. They do have some cornerstone players in Dexter and Andrew Thomas, and Kayvon and Banks are both good players that they can have that are young that they can build with. Now, with the coaching, Brian Daboll was Coach of the Year in 2022, and now he finds himself somewhat on the hot seat. The drama with Wink, another bad thing, because that came out mid-season that was leaked, and it seems like Wink leaked that. And that's why Wink no longer has a job in the NFL. He's now at Michigan. So that was not good. It seemed like not a lot of coaches wanted to come to New York. Do they want to work with Daboll? I don't know. And Dave, I remember this. When we went to the Giants town hall for season ticket holders, I brought you, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone's talking about Brian Daboll. All the season ticket holders are pumped up because they just won a playoff game. And John Mara up on stage, the owner of the Giants, says, doesn't take a lot in this league to go from Bono, you're the star, to Bozo. It can happen in 1 year. This is New York. Fans are not patient. What happened? 1 year. John Mara said that on stage in 1 year. Now he's on the
pod whenever you want.
hot seat. Not good, man. Not good. They got a lot of questions going into this offseason. They can create a lot more cap space. Right now they have mid-30s, but they can restructure Dexter and Andrew Thomas and clear up another 25 to 30. They're probably going to release Glowinski. So I think the Giants will have over $60 million in cap. I think they got to target an edge rusher to pair with Kayvon and Dexter Lawrence. I mean, that's every time they've won a Super Bowl, what have they had? A dominant pass rush.
Yeah, and I think you can make a case that Daboll has one of the hottest seats right now because if whatever he decides to do, he's got to make sure that's the right decision. If they draft a rookie quarterback, you got to make sure that guy shows enough flashes to keep your job. And if you stick with Jones, you better make sure you guys are getting damn near close to the playoffs, if not in the playoffs. So they are in a very interesting spot right now where no matter what the Giants have to do, you better make sure it's right because if you do it wrong, you are guaranteed to be fired, both the coach and GM. And if you do draft that rookie quarterback, you're not going to be setting him up in a great spot. If he struggles year one, we've seen it happen with a ton of these rookie quarterbacks, where you set these guys up for failure because you give them the coach, and then after the first year, they fire him, and then going into year two, they got a new coach and a new GM, and those guys are like, well, I didn't draft that quarterback.
Yeah.
And look at Zach Wilson.
I mean,
look at Justin Fields.
Biggest
look
sign
at
of
Josh Rosen.
dysfunction
There's
in
so
the
many
entire
guys
league.
it's happened to, and a lot of it is just the quarterback. And look at Bryce Young. That's what's happening to him now. So we'll see. But whatever they do, they got to make sure they do it right, because there's two choices here, and you got to be right, Dable.
I will say, Brian Dable is known for his work with quarterbacks, so hopefully he gets it right. Now, do they bring Saquon back? I don't know. I hope they do. Do they bring back Xavier McKinney? He was a top 5 safety in the league last year, according to PFF.
Be a shame if he didn't.
He played every single snap last year, 100% of snaps, which is unreal. And he was phenomenal. Now, with a new defensive coordinator, he can play more of center field as opposed to being man up, because he's not going to blitz as much. With Wink on, could be beneficial for his skill set. I think they do bring McKinney back, probably around $15, $16 million a year. They will have cap space. Please get an offensive lineman. Go get Josh Allen from Jacksonville. I'd love that, too.
Why not from Buffalo?
Well, I don't think they can do that. I love
Well,
that even more.
If I want Josh Allen, I'll take the one from the Bills.
I love that even more, but I don't think they can swing it. All right, Reagan, the Philadelphia Eagles, 11-6. Offensive ranks, 8th in total, 7th in scoring. Defensively, yuck. 26th in total, 30th in scoring. They started 10-1, finished the season 1-5, and then got knocked out by Baker and them boys in round 1. What grade did you give the Eagles?
I gave them a C, because they still went 11-6, so it's hard to just be like D, because it was a failure of a season, but at the end of the day, they made the playoffs. They had a good season for the most part till the very end, so it's hard for me to fully shit on them. And maybe that's because I'm a Jet fan, and it's like, I'd kill to be in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, this team, to me... Yeah. He goes, yeah, so I do think there's better days ahead for the Eagles. I really, really like the signing at the DC. I think Fangio is going to be a big help, because he was a part of the Super Bowl team. He wasn't the DC, obviously, that was Gannon, but he was in... I don't know the exact role he was in. He was in like an advisor role, but he was there, so I do like that. And I can't imagine the offense getting any worse. So I still believe in Jalen Hurts as a talent. Maybe I'm a little biased towards him, but I think he's a very good quarterback. So I expect better days ahead. But at the end of the day, this was a disappointing season. But it's hard to give a team that went 11-6 lower than a C.
Yeah, well, I did. D+.
Really?
D+. You started 10-1. You beat the Chiefs, right? So everyone's thinking, all right, you were in the Super Bowl last year, almost beat the Chiefs. You hung 35 on them. I mean, it wasn't Jalen Hurts' fault. The defense just couldn't hold it together. Pass rush fell apart. With the slippery turf, they couldn't get there. You had expectations going into the season that it was you and the Niners, right? The two teams in the NFC that are going to clash in the NFC Championship rematch and go to the Super Bowl. The late season collapse was pathetic. Sirianni lost the locker room.
Yep.
Clearly losing Gannon and Steichen.
And you didn't even mention...
huge thing for that defense.
You're not even going to mention the biggest loss. Big Dom.
But yeah, Big Dom, I mean, when they lost Big Dom, it really fucked them up, too.
It did. It did.
Now, Jalen Hurts did take a step back relative to 2022. Was that because of an injury that was talked about all year, but we still don't even know what happened? Or did teams start to figure him out? Because that's what the Bucs did, man. They blitzed him, they got after him, and he struggles when he gets pressured.
I'd say a little bit of both.
That's what happened.
I'd say both.
Now, at the end of the season, they started to get hurt. They didn't trust Sirianni, and they lost to the Bucs, and they're a way more talented team than Tampa Bay. I don't know what happened to the defense, because they still had a lot of those guys back. The pass rush wasn't the same level, and you still have so much talent. You even added Jalen Carter. The secondary was fucking brutal. Bradbury was just bad. Slay was hurt for a little bit, and he came back, but he wasn't himself. What are they going to do in this offseason? Because Slay's going to be 33. Slay's going to be 33. Bradbury's going to be 31. And that secondary was already brutal. They got to redo their entire secondary.
They lost Jason Kelce, too.
Yeah, you're going to lose Kelce. What happens with Fletcher Cox? What happens with Brandon Graham? You're losing depth on both lines, which has been their strong suit the past few years, why they've been so good. Also, A.J. Brown drama. Does he want to be there? I don't know. He says he does, but he says he wants to get paid. I mean, they can't pay everybody, man. They can't pay everybody.
Honestly, if they lose A.J. Brown, I don't hate that.
Does Hassan Reddick want out? I mean, he said cap on Twitter of him requesting a trade, but he's got 1 year left in his deal. I think he wants to get paid, but I think he wants to be an Eagle. But you can't pay everybody. They're only going to lose more talent. So they better get back on track for 2024, or I think their window is closing.
Yeah, no, it's a big year for them. They remind me of the spot that we've seen the Bills be in, where it's like their window's starting to to go away, and they got it. Next year's got to be it.
It's also an old team, man. You know what I mean? Like, Lane Johnson doesn't have a lot of time left. That's one of your cornerstone players the past decade plus. You know, like, I don't know.
I mean, to me, they're shooing for the playoffs, but it's a lost season if you don't at least get to the championship
And
game.
now Nick Sirianni's seat, after losing in the Super Bowl by 3 points and then starting 10-1, his seat is hot. He had to go to Jeffrey Lurie. Nick Sirianni, he had to go to Jeffrey Lurie and tell him his plan for this season. Like, what are you going to do? Who are going to be your coordinators? Pressure's on. And now you have 2 new coordinators in the building. That's going to take some time to mesh. I don't know, man. I gave him a D+, just relative to expectations and how they ended the season was one of the biggest collapses in recent memory.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say so.
The division champs, the Dallas Cowboys, 12-5. 5th in total offense, 1st in scoring offense. 5th in total defense, 5th in scoring defense. Reagan, where did you give the Cowboys?
Give him a B-. I still was very impressed by the season. I think McCarthy actually did a great job. A lot of people did not think this offense would be good, and they ended up having the best, honestly, I'd say probably the best offense. I mean, you can make a case for a couple other ones, but they were dominant on the offensive side. The defense was very good all year, and I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate they lost in the playoffs. Like, Green Bay turned it on, and Dallas choked. They did. I mean, so it's hard for me to give them lower than a B-, and it's hard for me to give them higher than a B-, but I think there's a lot to build off of here, and I think next year, this is a team that can be competing for a championship, and I think you have to be. Like, that's just like the Eagles. Like, it's NFC Championship or they're cleaning house. The window's going to be dwindling soon. They got a lot of guys that need to be paid, but, like, they didn't have the collapse Philly did, so I can't rank them lower than Philly, and I honestly was impressed by what I saw. I think they exceeded regular season expectations for me. It just didn't work out in the playoffs, but I landed at a B-.
Just see. But what do they do every year? They're good in the
Cowboys.
regular season. They get plunked in the playoffs. They choke every year.
No, they choked.
It's a C for me, man. I mean, it was just another classic Cowboys season. Same thing over and over again on repeat. What are they going to do in 2024? They're going to lose in the divisional round. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know who they're going to lose to, but they are. I mean, no one thought they were going to lose.
They might lose in the wild card round. You're saying they're going to lose in the divisional.
They could. Just to be safe, I'll say divisional. Let's not forget, the Packers towards the end of the season, that defense was getting torched by backups.
I know, and then they figured it out at the end, though.
They did figure it out. They did, but
they almost beat the 49ers, too, man. Like,
that top 5 defense,
no, we're not,
got absolutely exposed at home, too. And everyone's like, Cowboys don't lose at home. They were the most dominant team at home this year, and they got exposed.
Plain and simple.
That's what they do
Plain and
every
simple.
year. Dak, phenomenal season. One of the best in his career. But what happened again? Choke in the playoffs. And heading into this offseason, this is why Dallas is so fucked. They don't have enough cap space to really go all in this year and improve their team from what it was this year. You already paid Trayvon Diggs. You're going to have to pay Micah Parsons. You're going to have to pay CeeDee Lamb, 2 of the best of their positions, right? This is the last year of Dak Prescott's contract. And there's already money in 2025 that's a void year that they pushed back that's going to be dead cap. And they also have a clause in his contract that they cannot franchise tag him in 2025. So, if they want to compete this year, like what Jerry Jones said, they're going all in, you have to extend Dak. But Dak doesn't have to sign. He can go wherever the hell he wants next year. So Dak's going to want to be paid at least $50 million a year. Then you extend Dak. You have more money, dead cap, pushed down the road. Then how are you going to pay CeeDee and Parsons and keep adding to this team? Another team where the window is closing, man. And I'm not saying they won't be a good team. They can't be a playoff team. But Super Bowl window is going to be closing rather quickly, I think. It's going to be very difficult for them to win a Super Bowl if you're paying Dak Prescott $55 million a year, and then you pay CeeDee Lamb $30 million a year, and then you pay Micah Parsons $30 million a year, and you're already paying Trayvon Diggs $20 million a year.
Sounds like they're...
What about DeMarcus Lawrence? Tyron Smith could be done there. Okay, you got Tyler Smith, but now you're losing depth on the line.
They
just
got
like
Zach Martin
Philadelphia.
still, too. That's another one.
Dak has all the leverage in the world, and that's going to hurt Dallas a lot because they're going to have to pay him. Because Dak's good, man. I mean, they should pay Dak. But at that number... going to be difficult to win. And now McCarthy is also on the hot seat heading to 2024. Doesn't matter if you go 12-5 in the regular season. If you don't get to the NFC Championship,
I feel like he's been on the hot seat.
That's the thing.
If you're the Cowboys coach, you're always on the hot seat.
I agree, but this division seriously has 3 coaches on the hot seat heading into next year.
Yeah, the only one not is Dan Quinn. But honestly, we've seen franchises fire.
And Dallas lost Dan Quinn, one of the best defensive coordinators in football.
That they did. Well, yeah.
Now they'll have Trayvon Diggs back next year to pair with Deron Bland. That's good. Is Gilmore coming back? Can they pay Gilmore?
Gilly?
I don't know if they can pay
might
Gilmore.
take a team-friendly deal.
Gilly
You'd have
Gilly?
to.
I don't know.
Gilly.
We'll see, man. But I gave Dallas a C. It's what you expected. They didn't overachieve expectations. People expected to make the playoffs.
All right, well, that wraps it up. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll start up with some trivia.
Hey guys, I'm here today to talk to you about Warner Law Firm. If you find yourself in a little bit of a pinch and you need some help in a timely manner, they're your go-to. They have the best defense in the industry. Warner Law Firm. All right, Felters, we're back. Trivia time. Reagan gone round one, the AFC North. I better win this one. It's my division.
If you don't, it's bad. I'm sure Dave catered, since he's a Giants fan, I'm sure it's a lot of Giants questions. So, question number 1, Giants. All right, Reagan's up 1-0. Hey.
During the 2023 NFL season, which NFC East team had the highest average time of possession per game?
Dallas.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Dallas. I could have told you that. They were such a high. I'll go with the Giants. All right, well.
Do we only get one guess?
Yeah,
each?
you only get one, dude. It's going to be
Philly.
All right,
No way,
Washington.
it's Commanders?
Washington, I'm up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, cool.
No,
Thanks.
it doesn't count.
Whoa, it doesn't count if you got to use it. Like, yeah, it does.
Do you guys want
I
to
was
guess
joking.
the time of possession? It's a tough one, but
Wait,
Yeah.
Per, like total or per game?
no.
Per drive, average per drive. What is it?
Wow. Wait, that's wrong. It says the average time of possession 32 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's per game, bro.
Per game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to
All
guess 33 minutes, so I was close.
Among NFC East teams, which team had the highest third down conversion percentage of offense during the 2023 NFL regular season?
Dallas. Dude, come on, man. Picking the number one offense. You think
Washington.
Bro, you guys suck. No, wrong.
Giants.
Philly.
There was no way it was the Giants. I knew that.
I was saying Washington just because, like, I feel like it would have gone
You know, I bet on the number one offense in the league last
What
year.
was their
so.
conversion percentage? You guys know?
47.
Yeah. No, it was lower than that. It was 39.8%.
44.
Split us.
Meet
Split
you
us.
in the
0.8.
middle. Oh, God, we suck.
Next question.
All right. Zeros on the board.
Among NFC East teams, which team had the highest net yards per punt on average during the NFL regular season?
The Giants. Scottish Hammer. Oh, my God.
You guys are terrible, man.
Tress Way. Washington.
Dude, we're fucking terrible today.
Dallas.
And what was their net yards per punt on average?
Dallas and 57.9.
What was their net yards per punt?
57.
Average.
52 and a half.
Actually,
What is that your final answer?
yeah.
And yours was what? 52?
52 and a half.
43.
Oh, yeah, because net, I'm an idiot. It takes out 20 yards.
Okay.
All right, so Reagan, let's just, let's reset here.
Is this a wash?
Because we have the first guy, which has been me every time, has a 25% chance of just randomly guessing it, have not gotten it, and then you've had a 33% chance at each.
You're
other
also
time
jumping the
you
gun.
get it
I'm
wrong.
trying to think, and you're just like,
I'm thinking too. I bet on the number one offense a few times. Like, fuck me, and then I took Scottish Hammer.
Whoa. Beat you. All right?
yeah, family
Shut up.
first.
All right, John's
Shut up.
got some good questions this time around. Thank you, Austin, for those.
Oh, those were Austies.
Those were
good. Those were good.
Rocks.
Too good,
we
actually.
didn't get any right, so they were very good.
They were good. Who had the most fumbles in the NFC East?
Jalen Hurts. My goodness, man. The bell just didn't work.
No, that wasn't a full click.
Sam Howell.
I
No.
think I just sniped his last name. Winfield Jr.
What?
Yeah. What is his?
What are you talking about, bro?
He's on the Bucks.
Talking about Antoine Winfield Jr.?
Yeah.
He's a defensive back for the Buccaneers, bro. What are you doing?
I know the next one.
You said you had some good questions. What the fuck was that?
You know what? I think I may.
That's a DB for the Bucks. Fumble
I looked
recoveries?
at the wrong guy. Yeah.
Fumble recoveries?
Yeah. All right. Scratch your question. Scratch.
No shit, bro.
Dude, this is- God damn it. All right.
Wait, all of them are done?
No.
Oh.
It's because he probably used ChatGPT.
No, I didn't use chat. I actually looked on that. Wow, I was like looking at him too. I'm like, oh damn. All right. Who had the most tackles in the division?
You can take it. You can take it.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I'm between two guys.
Can I go?
I'm going to go Leighton Vander Esch.
Damn it, that's who I was going to say. Oh, fuck, what's his name? Oh, Bobby Okereke.
Bro, I was between Okereke and Van Der Esch. I was like, if I take the Giant, I'm biased.
The answer for the fumbles, if you guys do want to know, was Jalen Hurts.
Oh, come on, dude! I should get that. I should get that. I get that.
I'll give it to him.
I get that.
1-1.
Wait. I get that. No, you don't. Because
I get that.
No. His question was about forced fumbles because you said Antoine
He didn't
Winfield.
say forced fumbles.
No,
he said who had the most fumbles.
So what was he at? What the?
All right,
Jalen Hurts. I get that. I was right. It's 1-1, dude. That's fair. It's 1-1.
That was an operation.
That's fair.
We'll flip it.
That's not a good one. His
No.
answer was forced fumbles, which was Antoine Winfield. I answered the question he asked.
No.
Did you? Because I
said
clearly
no.
that
He said
wasn't.
fumble.
Well, there's one.
Run it back.
Reagan, what was
Run
your
it back.
answer?
Challenge
Jalen
flag.
Hurts.
Challenge flag.
Yo,
I
I'm scorecarding here. I'm flipping a coin to see if that question was valid or not.
What do you
count
mean?
it. I don't care. Count it.
Count
I'll
that.
win anyway.
Okay.
I don't care. Count it.
Count that.
I don't need. I can win. I can
1-1.
win regardless. I'll bail my draw here. I don't
if I
care.
got Okereke, oh,
Sorry,
so
sorry.
stupid.
It's fine.
Who had the longest average punt return?
Wait,
I hope
look
this
at-
guy's in
oh.
I'm gonna take a look.
Oh no! What's his fucking name? Damn it!
Quez Watkins?
No, I know who it is.
No,
Oh, Gunnar Olszewski.
wrong.
Oh,
He only played like 5 games.
Yeah, but that wouldn't. You only need a couple good ones. It didn't say like minimum returns or anything. Although it could be like anybody that had like one punt return that like.
No, it's got to be a minimum. Dave doesn't even have the freaking answer, bro.
It's
We sure?
Cove. How do you pronounce his last name?
Britton on the Eagles. Yeah, Britton. Yeah, you said an Eagle who doesn't even do their punt
Yeah.
return.
You think I know the Eagles punt returner week in and
He
week
was a
out?
wide receiver.
Yeah, he's on the Eagles. Yeah,
Or now, yeah, okay.
was he?
Alright, so it's
Britton
1-1.
Covey.
Wrong.
It's 1-1.
All right. Who had the fastest ball carry?
Who's fast? Who's fast?
Fastest ball carry.
I'm trying to think who's fast. I guess it could be any position.
Yeah, because it could be any skill position guy. Honestly, when they hit top speed.
Adoree Jackson.
That's actually a good guess on an interception.
Yeah,
I don't hate that.
I don't either. That's why I said it.
It's not gonna be Barkley. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be a Giant.
Okay, just
To be honest
guess
with you.
something.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Kevontae Turpin.
Oh, that's a good one, though. Turpin. Yeah,
Turpin.
Damn, John's got some good questions.
that was a good one. Yeah.
Makes sense as a returner too.
Yeah.
Who had the most amount of rushing TDs?
Jalen Hurts.
Wrong. I mean, I actually think that's right.
Wait, what?
Jalen Hurts definitely had the most rushing
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I may have not even.
Did he?
Dude, he definitely
Probably,
did.
right? You would think.
It's definitely Jalen Hurts.
I don't know how many Saquon.
All right,
You know how many
can
tush
answer-
pushes he
You
did?
can answer because
I mean, like, I feel like it is Hurts too, but just because of why I can't say him, I guess I'll just go with.
The only other viable option is Barkley. Even though
Is
Barkley missed 3
Is
games.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Barkley.
It's not Brian Robinson.
Hurts had more than Barkley.
Hurts definitely had more than Barkley.
I
Dude,
just
how do you
saw-
not
I
have
just
the
saw- I just saw
answers?
I just saw an article that said like Hurts 15th rushing touchdown of the season, and Barkley definitely did not have.
Yeah, he didn't have
Just like
15.
look it up.
Barkley missed 3
Probably
games.
really quickly.
Jesus Christ.
It shouldn't take that long. It's definitely Hurts,
Saquon
but
probably had like 8 rushing.
I know.
It is Hurts.
Yeah,
It is
I was gonna
Hurts.
say.
It is Hurts.
Yeah. I don't. It was Barkley was
I think
definitely
I was
two
on the
though.
second sheet when I got
Barkley
it.
was definitely two though.
Yeah, Hurts had
This is
15.
me.
Hurts had 15.
Zach, do you have any questions? Because
No.
you don't have any.
That's it then. I won.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean you won? We did like seven.
Jalen Hurts questions.
You did like
I won.
7
Should we
questions,
do
and we're
2
like,
more? Should we get
yeah,
2
You
more?
don't have 2 more.
I'm finding it.
All right, we can take a quick break.
I know. I mean, they can come up
keep
with
it
something.
rolling.
Like, what the fuck? I know. I talked to you.
Which NFC East player had the longest reception in the season?
Are you gonna hit it or not, dude? You can't.
Did you hit it? I was debating it.
What?
I was going to hit
Answer
it.
for that?
You not have the answer?
No, I'm just making up a question.
I'll go with Brandon Cooks. I'll figure it out what it is while he's.
I'm gonna go with CeeDee Lamb.
Oh shit! I think.
Should we just do whoever? We should change this to a sudden death where I ask a question and whoever's closer wins.
I think it is CD.
Yeah, should we do a sudden death?
I'm pretty sure it is CD. Yeah, it's CD. He had the longest in the league. He had 90. I forgot he had the 92 yarder.
All right.
Slayton.
Oh, I forgot about the 92-yarder.
Slayton had an
Oh,
80-yarder,
this is a good
though.
one.
Slayton
This is
was
a good
tail.
one.
I knew Slayton was going to be up there, too.
Yeah.
That was sneaky.
All right, you know what? So
Well, now it's 3-1.
trivia,
It's 3-1, so we're good. I won.
Hey,
All right.
let him do one more if he's got it.
All
Doesn't
right,
matter.
just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Nah, never mind. It's not a good one.
All right.
Who had the most rushing attempts in the division?
I mean, Saquon.
Wrong.
I mean, I don't even care. This was the most unorganized trivia. We
was
said
it?
after the last
It was
time we were,
very unorganized.
and after the last time we're like,
I
we'll be
get-
better next time. This was bad.
Swift.
Wrong.
Yeah. Then if it was, then it was. No, was it?
Tony Pollard.
That's really bad.
Tony P.
Pollard
That
was
just
so
tells you
bad.
how
Pollard
bad
had
of a.
252 and Saquon had 247.
Which is crazy because Saquon missed time. He would have had the most.
He missed
if he'd
3
missed-
games,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had such a
All
high
right,
bar.
guys. 1-1 on the trivia. That wraps up the NFC Recast Pod. We'll be back later this week. I don't know what division we're doing yet, but
Yeah, but guys, please submit some trivia questions. I mean, clearly it's been a
clearly
struggle.
Brock can't handle the
It's been a
workload. He
struggle.
called me today too, and he was like, "Yeah, I got some good questions for tonight." He was pretty pumped up.
I
and
mean,
excited.
hey, I
And
would.
he dropped the ball. With
It
Antoine
was
Winfield.
that was a good one. I mean, I definitely wasn't thinking that. Clearly not. But yeah, we'll be back. It's the NFC South next. We're going in the order of what we did with the
Nice.
predictions. So
Nice.
submit some questions, especially for trivia. Help out Drock.
Nice.
Yeah, one more episode and it's on Zoom, guys. So enjoy it while we're at the Felt.
Yeah, one more, man. One more at the felt.
Bye.